And that's what HADR, Humanitarian Assistance and Disaster Relief, is all about. It's understanding that other side of the full spectrum operation. So we got to make sure that we're training ourselves to be able to do all those aspects.
My mission was to plan the IDP relocation from the IDP camps in Port-au-Prince to some peri-urban sites in the surroundings of Port-au-Prince. It has been an integrated mission, a joint mission with with JTF, MINUSTA, many UN agencies, OCHA.
The camps themselves had areas that were deemed to be at risk when the rainy season starts and were subject to flooding. So they identified the people that were in these areas that needed to be moved in order for the engineers to go in and do what they need to do to protect the rest of the people that are going to stay in those areas.
Longer because is a new camp manager on board, and he's not familiar with the cluster systems as well, and we're going to help him to facilitate with him and help him walk through the process so that he too can start working on his camp.
And our soldiers' commitment and dedication to our nation and to our Army is essential, and we see it every day here in Haiti.
I think the value of what we're doing is directly related to the quality soldiers that we have. That's really what it's all about. As you have heard me many times, this is not about us. It's totally about being selfless. It's totally about integrity. It's totally about giving everything that we can, to help the people of Haiti.
Many of the soldiers down here wear a right side combat patch, and that means that they have served overseas for an extensive period of time. They've served in combat, and now they're in a humanitarian mission and can switch gears from doing something that's high stress in a combat environment, and now come here to do disaster relief, which has its own stresses, but are very flexible in the ability to shift their focus from fighting our nation's wars to saving the lives of our friends and allies.
Soldiers of the 377th, but more importantly for the families, thanks for what they're doing. The soldiers that we have here today are sacrificing. It's hot. It's pretty austere conditions out here living in these tents, but our families are sacrificing because they're taking care of things back home without that spouse, without that son or daughter, without that mother or father that they need. And they're sacrificing, but they are supporting. And they're telling them, go do your job, we'll take care of things back home. We've got to recognize their sacrifice, and we can't say enough thanks for what they're doing.
Undoubtedly, that the number one success that I'll talk about is about the quality soldiers that we have within the United States Army Reserve. That's a story that needs to be told. As you know, as PAO, I constantly remind you, hey, let's get the story out. It's not only for our benefit, but also for our families. Our families, our friends, our fans back home need to be able to see, and hear all the kinds of things that we're accomplishing. Then may God bless you, may God bless our families back home, and may God bless the United States of America. Can do.
Anytime, anywhere. Question, sir. Being a former Metairie resident, what do you think about the Saints winning the Super Bowl?
I think it's a great thing. It's about time, and it does great things for morale.
Yeah.